File names. So let's abandon the PC. We've already seen how the router and the PC are very similar. We always think of the router and PC. I always think of the router and PC as very similar. A router is just a PC that doesn't have a keyboard, mouse, or monitor. So let's take a look at the files then. So here are files that we need. Post doesn't require a file. Our bootstrap file, located in EEPROM, is going to be some file name .bin. When we boot up the router, we're going to see this, and actually in our router configuration demo, I will show you where all of this information is and where it's stored. We can even take a look at the real file names that are on the router that we're going to configure. I didn't want to put the real file names here because Cisco makes thousands and thousands and thousands of products, and each one of those products has literally thousands of different OSs you can put on it. It's a very obscure and challenging system to work through. But we'll take a look at what we got in the router in the demonstration. So when the iOS is stored, it's stored in flash. When the iOS is used, it's stored in RAM. And that iOS file name is going to be some other name, .bin as well, and that'll be stored in flash. When it's in RAM, we don't refer to it by the file name. We've extracted all the information we've needed out of the OS, and we've put that into RAM so that we can call upon it and use it. The configuration file, when it is stored in NVRAM. The file name is called startup-config. When the configuration is used, meaning while we power on the router and we're routing packets through the router, that configuration file is stored in RAM and it's called running configuration. And we're going to take a very deep dive look at this when we do the router config so that you understand how we save our configuration files and how the names change based on whether it's the saved config file or the used config file. This wraps up the introduction to routing. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.